Seriously, I decided to make breakfast pancakes for my children. We call them American pancakes. Um, and I had a little bit of egg on my hand, and I grabbed a new egg. And it came flying out of my hands, hit my open dishwasher, and went to the floor. Isn't that a good way to waste an egg? So I guess I better clean up before the dog comes and do it. He's out walking with Emolina right now, but he would definitely try and eat it. So I better clean it up. So the good thing about that little experience with my egg is that when I'm low on energy, and I mean really low, I don't think you can imagine how low on energy you can be when you're in a situation like mine. You're not just tired, you're dead. I mean, and when you're that low on energy, your mood is really bad and you go off in a split second. So if I had made this little mistake on a day, I'm not feeling like that at the moment because I'm just at home. I'm kind of a stay-at-home mom now for the next period of time, and so I'm not draining myself completely as when I had a job. But I would have been so mad at myself if it had been one of the kids. I would have been so mad as well, and it would have ruined my mood, and it would have taken me quite a while to get over. And I don't ever want to feel like that again. Here I just kind of laughed at it. Of course it's annoying to drop an egg because I don't like wasting stuff. And I firmly believe that if Mother Nature produces something for you, it's your responsibility to actually use it and not waste it. But I was okay with it. It happened. It was an accident, and it really flew out of my hand, and it was kind of funny how it happened. So I was actually able to laugh it off, which is just so nice. Like that never really happens, but hopefully it will happen from now on, and that's just how it's gonna be. That's the plan anyway. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm moving out to my entrance hall. I don't know what you would call it. For two reasons. I was mudding out here yesterday, and it turned out better dry than wet, so that's a good thing. But I also hold on. I'll turn on the camera. I also put it's on the light. I also put my switch back in. It was out for about a day, and I really didn't like it hanging there, but I needed the mud to dry, and but nothing happened, and I didn't have the power turned off the entire time, so it was actually hanging there, and I really needed to go back in because that's a switch we use a lot. And then yesterday, as the mud was drying, I placed a bucket right here in front of the wall so the kids wouldn't touch it, but sure enough, Valdemar leaned on it, so I tried to smooth it out while it was like half wet, half dry. It doesn't look good, but I'll have to sand it. But he leaned on it. And again, he was like, "I'm so sorry, Mom." And earlier, probably would have thrown a fit, which I'm not proud about. I would have been so annoyed. But I was pretty chill about it, and I was like, "Yeah, well, I told you," but also kind of knew it was probably going to happen. And just, when it dries on your clothes, you can just pick it off. My pants were really dusty and dirty yesterday, and it just all came off. I vacuumed, and that was it. So that's the news with the wall. I did throw off my back a lot. Like my back is hurting, and I felt it going to sleep. Yesterday Emmeline came yesterday and asked if we could switch rooms. We have a small house, and they wanted to have a little game going, and they needed the living room for that because that's a bigger room. And so she said I could use her bed and go and lay in there, and I went. And it's a pretty soft bed. And when I needed to get out of the bed, I was hardly even able to. My back was so sore, and I felt it during the night as well. So now I put the belt back on. I kind of knew that my back would hurt, but yeah. So I put the belt back on. I put it a little low. I think you're supposed to have it where it hurts, but I also put it on really tight, and that makes, yeah, it does. It's not charming or anything, but you know, then I will remember that I need to lose a little weight around the waist. So yeah, that's the news for now. I started making the breakfast pancakes, and I didn't finish. I started filming instead. So I probably have to go back. I can show you my recipe. Right now I only added 2 eggs. I'm making 2 portions. One that is gluten-free and one regular. The reason why I'm not just making it all gluten-free is that the gluten-free flour is quite expensive. Flour mix, it's quite expensive. So I'm only making 1 batch gluten-free because my daughter really, my daughter's body really prefers gluten-free products. So yeah. So 1 batch for my daughter and 1 for my son, and they will not finish that, of course not. So I will just freeze the rest of them, and then they will eat them whenever they feel like. This recipe is basically just, you know, kind of the measurements, but I will add in 2 rather big tablespoons of sugar and to each batch. Then I add half a spoon of vanilla sugar powder to each. And the vanilla is good, so when I use half a teaspoon for the vanilla, it's a big teaspoon. When it's a baking powder, it's a regular size. When it's the salt, it's a small one. So I always graduate them and graduate. Is that the word? Well, use different sizes. But now I'm going to whisk it, and that's pretty noisy. So because the gluten-free batch has to go in the refrigerator for a while and rest, because the flour acts differently. It's not wheat. I will do that first, and also I don't want to mix them up. I don't want to accidentally put the wrong stuff in the gluten-free. It's the exact same recipe. I just use this flour mix. It's a Danish flour mix. But I don't want to mix them up. She's not gonna die or anything. She's not even going to be sick. It's just that her stomach will get a little upset, and we don't even have the doctor's words for it. So it's just that we have realized that she's doing better with no gluten. So yeah, I'll just add some of this flour mix. I don't actually know exactly what's in it, but it's a mix. It's not pure. And because it does act different than wheat flour, well, actually now I am. I'm using 3 deciliters. How do you say that? Deciliter? I don't know. 3 of those. It's a metric system, right? I need to add, I'm not concerned about doing it in the right order. I just mix it all together. It doesn't matter to me. But I need, because this flour mix is kind of different, I add extra baking powder because it takes a while to get it started, the whole rising process. I add a little bit of salt. Remember I said that I didn't add as much. It was supposed to be half. Then I add, so it's the same recipe on the other regular flour. 2 tablespoons of grease, whatever you use. Is it butter, or this is just some kind of plant oil, I think. And then I'll just rest that here. Finally, I'm adding some milk. I have to be careful here because it acts, I usually take 2 deciliters of milk. I have to be careful now because it does act different than, as I said, wheat flour. So I always have to kind of feel the consistency. But I'm going to mix again, so I will turn off the camera. And it is kind of tricky because I think I added too much milk. I know that the batter has to be kind of wet. But it's really wet right now, so I might have added too much milk. But I know that it will change consistency when it's put in the refrigerator. And the angle before that was a really good angle. But I'll put it in the refrigerator now, and then I'll move on to the other batch. And because my pan takes quite some time to heat up, I will always start my pan before I'm just looking at the stove, so it can heat up while I'm doing the batch. So because of the batter that's sometimes it's just too wet, it's just easier to use a pan looking like this, pancake pan. So yeah, I have it on medium heat. It goes up to 9. And yeah, I know it's greasy. I forgot to clean it yesterday after cooking bacon. And as I've said so many times, I'm not able to multitask. So of course I added vanilla sugar powder again to the regular batter. So there will be a little extra sweet. But also the flour that I use in the gluten-free, that is so dusty. So when you start mixing, it would just rise from the bowl. And you look like this. And it's over here. It's all over the table. And I could feel it on the floor as well, that it was dusty. But now it's just a matter of baking them. I'll do all the regular first because the first batch hasn't been in the refrigerator that long. It only took a couple of minutes to mix the batch. So, but Valdemar passed by. He just did that again. But the first time he passed by, I believe his sound was ooh. So I think he's excited about having breakfast pancakes. I try not to make these too often because it's cake. And I don't want to feed them cake for breakfast. And they like to eat their pancakes with Nutella. I prefer syrup, maple syrup, because, well, when I lived in America, you didn't have, that was not a thing in Denmark. You didn't have these little American pancakes for breakfast in Denmark. It just didn't exist, at least not where I came from. And then I came to America and I was like, pancakes for breakfast? And I learned to eat them with syrup, maple syrup. But my kids, they learned on vacations to places around, I was about to say around the world. It's not around the world. We went to Spain, Greece, places like that, and had all inclusive. And there you can have Nutella, and they really like Nutella, so they add Nutella to their pancakes. So yeah, I'm gonna cook them now, bake them, cook them. Yeah, so that's the plan for now. And as I said, I do not multitask. And then I'm going to empty the dishwasher. I also need a fork for flipping the pancakes. I don't do well with spatulas because of the holes in the pan, pancake holes. So I will always very carefully use a fork. But as they are baking, I will start on the dishwasher, and I'm not kidding. I'm also making myself breakfast. So I'm doing 3 things at a time. I wonder how that's gonna go, but I'm doing it anyway because that's how I am. I always do multiple things at a time, and I cannot multitask. But my breakfast is, I just have to keep an eye on it and use my nose, remember to smell so it's not burned. I'm just adding my bread to the oven, and I have to cut some vegetables. I think I'll be okay. I'm doing good, by the way. I haven't burned anything yet. But also, I'm not at all doing all the things at one time. I basically just cut up my vegetables. The bread is still in the oven, and then my kitchen is not that big, so I'm just checking in on the pancakes all the time. These are all Valdemar's pancakes, so he'll get them faster. But now I will tackle the dishwasher and still check in on my pancakes. And oh yeah, I'm also doing laundry. But and because my house is so small, everything is on the floor in the kitchen, because right in there is the laundry room. And you see, this is my kitchen. It's not that big, and the rest of the house out right here, so it's not that big. So yeah, I have my laundry right there on the floor. So here's my son having pancakes. I will ask him in Danish, and I will make sure to translate so he can be a part of the conversation. Kan du lide dem?
Mm.
I asked him if he liked them. Do you want Nutella? Vil du have Nutella?
Ja.
Hvad er det bedste ved pandekager? What's the best about pancakes?
At Nutellaen kommer på.
Adding Nutella? Okay. Do you
want? Din kærlighed til dem.
Oh, and he said my love for it. And maybe the love that I poured into them. Valdemar, det er meget Nutella, stille og roligt. I just told him that was a lot of Nutella. So we actually use this kitchen island a lot. I have 2 bar stools right here, and we sit here every single day. And I redid this kitchen 13 years ago, almost. And that was the same summer that I tried to conceive Emmeline. I had been through more than 6 years of infertility and 3 miscarriages and lost relationships. I don't know if you would put it like that. The last guy that I left had an alcohol problem. I didn't want to be a part of that, so it didn't work out.
Så er der sådan en lille pandekage.
Yeah, det var lige resten. But as I was making this kitchen and planning this kitchen island, my mom was like, you need to buy bar stools, and then your future kids can sit there and do their homework as you are cooking or just talk to you. And that really upset me, because I had been on that journey for so long and nothing had happened. I really wanted children so badly, and it was just not working out. And I was trying again, but after having 3 miscarriages, you're not that optimistic, right? But I did buy the bar stools, and I never used them, and they were just sitting there. But that summer I did get pregnant again, and that was in Molina. And now we just use that area all the time. And they like to sit there. I'm not even cooking. They just like to sit there and eat. So they prefer that over our dining table. So that's fine with me. I actually started sitting there as well. So now the dining table is not really being used, which is kind of stupid. Also because we have only 2 seats here, and sometimes we all 3 sit here. So I'll be sitting right here on the corner, where you don't actually have space to sit. So I will pull this little stool, stairs kind of thing, over here. And then it's usually breakfast in the morning, so we will have breakfast in the morning together. And now I'm kind of thinking that I'm forgetting all about my bread, and now I need to get it out of the oven. And also I need to change batches. I'm done with the regular pancakes. I'm moving on to the gluten-free. But I think my breakfast is ready now. Yes. So I will sit down and enjoy my breakfast. And one last thing. The gluten-free pancakes are coming along really nicely. They do look and act a little different. I'm actually burning them now because the batter is still kind of weird, and so it doesn't grow until you put it in the pan. So it's still kind of wet. It's better now than before, but it's still kind of wet. And I added too much in there, I guess, because you can't really tell, because it doesn't really rise until it's on the pan. So the last clip I didn't actually film. I turned off the camera and then I put it away. But as I was looking through the clips afterwards, I had actually turned it back on and I was filming the ceiling. And then I guess when I picked up and refilmed, I actually ended that session and I didn't film the rest. I finished I finished all the pancakes, and the first couple of pancakes were a little burned, as I was saying, because the batter acts in a different way than the regular. But I actually changed it around. So having made a couple, they turned out way better. And so I finished my breakfast, and I will call Emmeline now so she can finish or start her breakfast, because I'm not even sure that she realizes that I have made pancakes. So, but that was it for today. You can try and make pancakes at home if you want to. I'll see you later.